When you're racing, everything happens fast. Throttle, brake, corner, repeat. But once the lap's over, how do you really know what happened? That's where data comes in. Every lap that your car drives around the circuit leaves a trail. Speed, grip, power, even driver input, it's all recorded frame by frame. This is the secret weapon of every top team. Data turns racing into engineering. There are many ways to take data. We've got here telemetry. Telemetry is a more professional method. The Gen 1 that you received doesn't come with the telemetry logger, but we thought it might be useful to learn how it works and maybe how you can apply it to some different data collection methods. So telemetry looks at your lap and it takes different values of the car, which are called channels. Each of the channels is shown here as a different line trace, and they show you how that channel varies. For example, this blue trace here is showing me throttle. So was I fully on the accelerator or was I off the accelerator? Where you see this flat peak at the top, that means 100% throttle, I've gone all the way. That indicates most of the time I'm going down a straight, or the corner I'm going down is particularly smooth. Now you can look at this and you can see where has the driver come off the throttle. That tells you where the corners are. If you pair that with other traces such as the brake trace or the speed trace, you can figure out where you're losing performance. Maybe you can look at it compared to one of the better drivers. You can see where exactly does the better driver come onto the throttle earlier. You can use that to tell your driver, this is where you should be putting the throttle in. Maybe it wouldn't make sense to them, maybe they wouldn't feel like that's the right decision, but the data will show them that that's where it's at. There's more you can tell. This orange trace here is the steering angle trace. So if I look at the steering angle, I can see essentially where the steering wheel has been on my car, how far left, how far right, and all of it is represented as this somewhat sinusoidal graph. Now, the best lap would probably look a lot more smooth than this is. These peaks here show us that we're flicking the steering probably too much. And if we see any sharp spikes like here, for example, that could suggest something called snap oversteer. Snap oversteer happens when we are steering somewhere and all of a sudden we load up the fronts too much and it causes the car to flick out. Now, whilst that could be down to driver error, that's more likely down to the car. So that could tell your engineering team that perhaps we need to shift the balance. We need to correct for this oversteer. And you can tell that from the data. Now, whilst all of this is great, you do have to bear in mind that these cars don't come with a data logger on them already. You can put one on if you would like, but for your purposes, you may want to look at certain simpler data methods. Some of those include filming. So you could film your lap. You could have a look at where you think you're coming onto the throttle earlier for that same benefit you're getting by this blue throttle trace. Now, whilst it won't be more accurate, it's definitely going to be better than guessing. So wherever you can, look for methods to use data to influence your decisions. Every number here, speed, voltage, temperature, it all tells a story. It's the story of how your car behaves and how you can make it better. In the next episode, we'll take everything we've learned, aerodynamics, power, tires, and now data, and put it to work in a real car tuning session. This is where the theory meets the track. It's where we learn some of the skills relating to race engineering and race setup, and probably some of the most important decisions you'll make before a race.